Well, here we are again, another multicultural mailer online forum. How you been going?
I'm pretty good after the Logan Expo yesterday, and even greater with the news in the Parliament. We're going to talk about that a little bit.
All right. Well, we're a little bit proud at the moment because the big expo, the Multicultural Expo we put on in August, got mentioned in Parliament by Senator Paul Scar. So we all got our names mentioned. It was we're all pretty happy about that. So we're yeah, what a great thing.
The whole team, every single person was mentioned, from the marketer to you, to your daughter, the coordinator. Well deserved. I was there, 1,400 people, 70 exhibitors. It was a sellout completely. And so extremely well deserved. And you didn't even have to ask for it. That's the funny part.
What do you think that's like? Why was it so successful, do you think?
Because of the work you guys did. You interviewed people, you had people from different languages promoting you, business leaders. You planned it well. Like you understood the power of referral, which is what I'm going to cover this week and next week, the referral machine. You've built your relationship, you've tapped into your relationships, but most importantly, you promoted your relationships, and therefore they promoted you.
Yeah, that's true. We had that. We worked on it every single day for probably 4 months. And then as well as that, we had the community session at the Runcorn Hall, and we got all the community leaders, and they're behind us because it's our 3rd year, and they all did messages in their own languages, and they all took those messages to all their own communities.
You basically had a solid referral machine. Like I said, I'm going to talk about this.
We got great referrals, yeah.
You got
all right, well,
methods.
Would you want to take over?
Why don't you talk about multicultural mailer again for people?
Okay, multicultural mailer.
What are we all about? What's this about?
Well, we're very happy about it because Dr. Zachariah Amin started it about 4 or 5 years ago when it was just ticking along. And then a year and a half ago, it just exploded. And now we've grown significantly in size. We're in business, we're in community, we're in employment. We've gone into 5 other, like Toowoomba, Gatton, Gold Coast, and Runcorn, Capella Bar. So it couldn't be going greater, but that means the community's getting help. So we're very happy about that. Yeah, we're just happy with how it's going. None of us, we're just ticking along, and now it's become this thing. It's great to be part of such a good success story.
And what's all this multicultural business forums? What are they?
Oh yeah, well, the people watching this are a part of it. They're watching the online one, which is part of it. So it's a weekly online, and Shockit covers topics, but also does interviews. So if you know someone interesting in the business world, maybe contact him. We do the monthly one, which is good. We're getting up to 60 for the monthly meetings, and great speakers, great networking afterwards. People stay for up to 1 hour. And then we're going to do a startup with Michelle Martin at LOED. And then we're going to start business mentoring, and we're going to come up with multicultural business mentors.
And when you say multicultural, is it just people with a slightly different skin tone, or what do you mean?
I'd say it'd be everything, hijabs, and we will train multicultural business mentors, and then they will train the multicultural business owners.
So if you like meat pies and fish and chips, you also have a culture. Chances are you have a culture, and you're part of the multicultural network.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we get Aussies, and they're super happy as well. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're part of a culture, you have a culture, you're proud of your culture, you're part of the program.
Yeah, we're cultured.
Okay, so thank you for that. I'm going to get into referral. Give me a just to be very clear, so you can see my screen PowerPoint.
Yes. Yeah.
So for those who are interested in the multicultural online business forum, it's really for people who feel like they're a prisoner in their own business. Maybe they've built they have a golden handcuffs, a luxury prison. They're feeling that their peers are beating them on price, yet the peers are still making good margins. How is that possible? It is possible. Then the middle of the night anxiety is about working 80 hours a week just to stand still, not even getting ahead. And you, Travis, you focus on decision making. And a lot of this has to do with making the right decisions, right? We can talk about referrals all day long, but if you're not making the right decisions, chances are you're going to get the wrong referrals. Am I mistaken?
It's correct.
Right. So then what happens with that? Well, if you got the wrong business model, you're making the wrong decisions, you take a 2-week holiday, chances are your business will fall apart. And so the thinking is we're never busy. We've been so busy, but the profits are shrinking. So my goal of these online forums is to help doers become operators. Operators becomes true owner, where the business runs itself, and owners finally becoming the investors. And so now you're investing in a business and creating employment, creating opportunities for yourself and the community. Okay. And before we get started, a quick heads up, we're all adults. I give advice. I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't know your services. So anything you try it with the fire extinguisher ready, fail fast, learn fast, make small risks. If I haven't said it already, good afternoon, well, good late afternoon. Today, we're going to talk about the most powerful yet most neglected source of growth for any business. So there's no excuse, but my business is different. Even if you sell a $50 million driller in the mining industry or for the mining industry. So hear me out. It's the enthusiastic recommendation of a happy client, customer, or patient. And yes, if you do heart surgery, chances are you're not going to do heart surgery again. The chances are you've got a list of people. But still, we all know intuitively that a referred client, customer, or patient is the best kind of customer. I'm not going to keep saying customer, client, patient. It covers the human beings. We're in the H2H business, humans to humans. So I'll just stick to the word customer, but it automatically means client and patient. So for most of us, referrals are a happy accident, not a deliberate strategy. They are a trickle when there should be a flood. So over the next half an hour, whatever I've got, we're going to change that. We're not going to talk about just getting more referrals. We're going to talk about building an engine, a deliberate, intentional, and integrated system within your business that doesn't just ask for referrals, but actively cultivates a culture of advocacy, turning your best customers into your most powerful and passionate free sales force. Free sales force. So this is a pretty big topic. So I'm going to have at least 2 parts, hopefully this week and next week only. Let's begin. And very quickly, if you're wondering who I am, my name is Shaukat. I've been mispronouncing it, so it's okay for you to mispronounce it. And my entire career has been a journey to understand the shift between the master technician in a business to becoming the grand strategist of your business. So going from in to of your business. So I didn't start in strategy. I started on the street, finished uni. I went straight into real estate because that's where the money was, and still is, frankly, but there's lots of ways to make money. So I joined LJ Hooker Bank Hills, the top office at the time, taking on expired listings that market experts could not sell and getting them across the line. So actually, very clearly, that was an LJ Hooker Ashmore. But LJ Hooker Bank Hills, I learned how the best perform. And I took that and I started taking names and kicking butts, as the saying goes. Then I switched into finance broking, learning about how to get deals funded outside of standard policy, creative financing, but legal and ethical. Pure hustle. And it taught me that nothing happens until a sale is made. So then I spent nearly 15 years inside a corporate giant, Telstra, or some people colloquially call it Bloody Telstra. Don't worry, people inside Telstra call it Bloody Telstra. More out of love than anything else. And so in Telstra, I saw the other side. I wasn't just chasing sales, I was leading teams to find and plug multi-million-dollar financial leakages. Now, I was using automation, robotics process automation, Lean Six Sigma, Agile, Prince2, you name it, whatever works to build bulletproof systems at massive scale. So for years, these two worlds felt completely separate, the street level hustle and the board level system, Main Street versus Wall Street, if you were in the US. And the bridge, the thing that connected it all was my MBA. And don't shoot the messenger. I know what people think about MBAs. But the reality is I was fortunate enough to make the Dean's Honor Roll, so yay to me. And here's the most important part. It gave me the frameworks to connect the dots, to take the robust, scalable systems from the corporate world and apply them to the urgent, real-world needs of business owners. So that's kind of my work today as a mentor of the Queensland government and a facilitator for the Multicultural Online Business Forum. That's where you are. My entire focus is on two things. First, we build your fortress. We find the hidden gold in your business so you can command your price with confidence. Second, we build your autonomy of freedom architecture. So freedom, autonomy is designed. It's not accidental. And it's just not dependent on pure sales. So we designed a system that allows your business to thrive without you being the central cog for every single decision. Okay, so let's go back into referral engine part 1. We want to start with the fundamental question. So besides the obvious benefit of more business, why are referrals so valuable? First, as you can see, they are simply better customers, right? They arrive pre-sold, pretty much pre-sold. You still have to do your part. They have fewer doubts and less sales resistance because a trusted friend or colleague has already vouched for you. It's a massive advantage, especially for those of us who aren't naturally comfortable with hard selling. Second, this trust translates directly to price. A referred customer is automatically less resistant to our fees. Doesn't mean they're not resistant, just less resistant. You have more room to sell at a premium and have them accept it because they've likely done less comparison shopping. And frankly, even when they do comparison shopping, the more they compare, the more confused they get. Features versus pricing, advantage, outcome. And so they came straight to you as a referral. And finally, there's a hidden benefit. So number 3, when an existing customer refers someone to you, it makes it psychologically more difficult for them to leave you. Talk about the good quality clients, not the low quality clients. Keep that in mind. And we all want good quality clients. So for example, if I've convinced 3 of my friends to join my club, I can't just quit the club next year. It reinforces their own loyalty. So referrals are very powerful psychological tools. So if referrals are so powerful, why don't most businesses have a referral system for getting them? The primary reason is profound and often unconscious sense of entitlement. The thinking goes like this: I do a really good job. I provide great service. I'm a good person. Therefore, in a just and fair universe, I'm entitled to referrals. And they should just happen automatically. Entitlement. Well, we keep complaining Gen Z is entitled. Back in the days, it was millennials entitled. I sometimes think Gen X, Xennials, and above can be entitled. And this is a dangerous trap. We see our own hard work and quality as the finish line, when in reality, it's just the minimum ante to get to the table. Minimum. Starting point. So other reasons are ego, the fear that actively asking for or stimulating referrals might make us look needy or salesy. There's ways to handle that. Or being held hostage by staff who resist any new initiative. A lot of people are afraid of their staff. And so you have a new initiative, I mean, I do change management, so that's a big issue, driving change and getting buy-in, not compliance, but commitment. So, but the biggest obstacle is this deep-seated belief that just doing a good job is enough. It isn't. And how often do we see restaurateurs go broke? Wonderful food, go broke. And they'll blame cash flow, they'll blame customers, they'll blame the economy. And I'll say, tell me about your referral engine. What does that mean? There you go. So we want to look at the other side of the coin. Why don't our happy customers automatically refer us even when they love what we do? It's logical, isn't it? First and most simply, it's not their job. Their job is to give you money for your service, and they're fulfilling that obligation. Good things never happen automatically, only bad things do. But the deeper reason is that the threshold of risk to refer someone is much, much higher than the risk of simply continuing to be your customer. So we've all had this experience. You love a little local restaurant, you tell a friend about it, they go and have a terrible experience, and they never let you forget about it. You referred me this lousy restaurant. Are you getting a kickback? So that social risk makes us hesitant. So unless we're actively motivated, given an easy process, and shown profound gratitude, most customers will simply stay quiet. And even if they're perfectly happy, sometimes there's also that element of, I don't want anybody to know this place, because if they get busy, the quality will go down and they're not going to treat me well. So we got to address that as well. So let's look at the advocate. So we want to look at the core components, right? The 3 I's of systematic referrals. There's no I in team. Well, there's 3 I's in referral machine. So what is the opposite of this passive hope-based approach? Because hopium is a very powerful drug, and it is a drug, and unfortunately, it's free. So the opposite is building a machine. A true referral machine has 3 core components. First, it's intentional. This means there is a process that happens the same way every time, like clockwork. It's not left to chance. Second, it is invested in. Most owners will invest in external marketing without a thought, but are strangely reluctant to invest anything in internal marketing. You spend money on external, internal, not so much. You must understand that you don't get referrals for free. And this is the mentality, or referrals are free. No, they're not. Well, they're not if you want consistent referrals and make it part of your business, which doesn't just increase your income, but increases your equity, your valuation, present bank, future bank. So you have to invest time and money in building and running your machine every single day. And third, it is integrated. The referral process isn't a separate activity. It's woven into the very fabric of your business. It's integrated into your new customer intake process. It's also integrated into your company culture. Everyone, staff and customers alike, understands that you are a referral-driven business. So the machine has very specific goals. The first is to achieve top of consciousness. You want to be so present in your customers' lives that when a conversationally stimulated opportunity arises, your name is the first one that comes to their mind. Second, it must create an ease of doing. So your system has to provide simple, easy ways for customers to refer people to you. Simple, easy. If it's complicated, it won't happen. Too hard. And third, I must provide status by doing. You want business, you got to elevate their status. So people should feel that they gain status by being associated with you and by recommending you. They get points for being smart by introducing their friends to your great ideas. And finally, of course, the system must reward the behavior you want to see repeated. I told you it's psychological. When you reward a referral promptly and generously, you get more referrals. When you don't, the behavior usually stops. Just the way it is. What's in it for me, right? So let's look at the anatomy of a wow package. A great welcome package should accomplish a few key things. First, it should contain items that occupy permanent, visible space in your client's environment, their home or office. A unique object on their desk forces the conversation. I'm not talking about your pen with the brand on it. Go ahead and do that, no problem. That may or may not get you referrals. We are talking about referral engine. So for that, it has to be unique. And it forces a conversation among your clients and your prospective client. So your client and them meeting your prospective client, who is a referral, that person or people will say, hey, where'd you get that? And your client might say, oh, from my financial advisor, my consultant, my doctor, my whatever business you're in, my engineer. So now a referral conversation has begun. Second, it should include things that educate and inform, reinforcing the value you provide. So that's part of the and third, you must include something that's just cool and fun. Most of our businesses are not inherently exciting. Think about law, accounting. How many pens you're going to give away anyway? So you need a cool factor. And finally, as we'll see in our examples, you can and should embed actual referral tools right into the package, making it easy for them to share. Remember how we said, make it easy. Okay, so the welcome experience in action. Let's look at some real world examples. So a financial whose theme is sleep well at night now that your money's taken care of. So that's the whole theme. Sends new clients a massive box. Inside is a high quality branded blanket, elegant wine glasses, special tea, and even sleep masks. It's a completely unexpected and delightful experience. I mean, how boring is financial advice? No offense if you're a financial advisor. I started in finance. And let's face it, it's even boring to us. How much spreadsheet are you going to read every day anyway? So now an exclusive fan club, membership committee, sends new members a big box containing a beautiful, personalized, and signed membership certificate that's ready to be framed and hung on the wall. It immediately becomes a status symbol, almost like having a degree from a university. And then there's the orthodontist. New patients receive a stunning, high-quality box. Again, the box has to be high quality. If the box is not high quality, then it sets the stage, doesn't it? So inside is a treasure map that guides them through the contents. 2 copies of his books, 1 to keep, 1 to pass along, a preloaded iPod Nano. This is the old days, so there were gift cards to give to friend, so physical gift cards, a cool t-shirt, and all the usual dental items, but presented beautifully in a die-cut tray. It's expensive, but we'll come to that because you're probably thinking, oh, I can't afford this. Okay, we'll come to that. So this isn't a baggie from the dentist. It's an experience that feels like Christmas morning. So I'm going to repeat that. It feels like Christmas morning. So you're opening up a present, a gift. You look forward to it. You treasure it because no one else is doing it. Okay, so we want to talk about the ongoing connection. So the welcome experience is a powerful first punch, but we're not done. We want to keep stimulating that conversation and staying top of mind. The next layer of the machine is a system of ongoing gifting. Oh, things just got even more expensive, you're thinking. You could call it a gift of the month, club. However, it's arguably better if the gifts appear to be more random, because that sacrifices predictability and increases the surprise and delight. The key is that while it appears random to the customer or client or patient, it is absolutely not random to you. It's a system. Perhaps it's a gift every 6 weeks. The goal is to be the only business relationship in their life that is showing up 8, 10, or 12 times a year with varied, cool, and interesting gifts. So this makes you, your business, sticky. It reminds them to patronize you, and it reminds them to tell people about the cool and unusual way you treat them. I mean, they probably didn't get treated like this by their own family and friends, at least not until Christmas or a birthday or a special event. It's well worth it. The ROI is there, a huge ROI. So just bear with me. And this is where we're talking about the gifting mathematics. So this is not about cost, it's an investment. Investment means there's a return. So who should you gift? And how much should you spend? That's the real question. Not can I afford this? It's who should you gift and then how much you should spend. So it starts with math, not creativity. So the marketing people are going to get upset by this, but the finance people and operational people will love it. So first, you must know what it costs you to acquire a new customer from the street. That number gives you the maximum you should be cheerfully willing to spend to get a referral. In fact, you should be willing to spend more because the referred customer is better. You can also spend differentially. So you can segment your customers into A, B, and C tiers based on their value and referral activity. And this is where the ROI comes in. Now you want to invest more in the gifts for your A-listers because birds of a feather flock together. Chances of an A-lister giving you a D client is very low. Chances of a C client giving you A client is also very low. So if you have an online only business, so I'm talking about like an e-commerce store, a proper transactional store, you might be tempted to send digital gifts. I strongly advise against it. There's far less impact. I mean, the digital gifts are going to go to your inbox or your SMS, and SMSs are getting busier anyway. So the people you're selling to still grew up opening physical packages. I'm talking about Gen Z. I'm talking about Gen Alpha. My daughter, who's 10, she loves physical gifts and she's digitally native. So there is no law that says an online business cannot mail a physical box. And if it is, you're in the wrong country or the wrong place. So in fact, the surprise and impact are even greater because it's so unexpected. And we're going to finish up part 1 here. So you got to ask yourself, what if you have no repeat business? And that's not uncommon. People love to say word of mouth, but actually most of them are not. That's the secret. That's an open secret. Most businesses might get a referral once in a blue moon and they say, I'm a word of mouth business. Fake it till you make it. So common question around is, what if I'm in a business with no repeat customers? So orthodontist, for example, the mining engineer, engineering firm. You see, once the treatment or the goods are delivered, it's done. But this whole system is really about referrals. Keep in mind, referrals. We're not talking about repeat sales, referrals. Now, and that's critical in any business, right? Even the one and done ones. But there's a bigger, more entrepreneurial question to ask yourself. Can you reconfigure your business so that there is a next transaction? The masters of this have spent the last 15 years adding to their what's next list. They started with a theme park. Then they asked, and will they stay in a hotel we own? So Disney, we covered Disney last 2 weeks. Will they prepay for 50 years of hotels? Disney Vacation. So yes, that's the timeshare business, right? But they call it Disney Vacation. So watch the videos from last week and the week before to understand. And the next question is, will they get on a boat we own? Disney Cruise. Yes, now they're in the cruise line business. Will they pay to learn how we do business? So now they have a corporate training institute called the Disney Institute. They're constantly asking what's next to magnify the total value of every customer, which in turn allows them to spend more to acquire one and more to retain one. So that is the ultimate goal. I've covered a lot and it's still only part one. And if you're thinking, hey, I like the idea of a referral engine, a referral machine, my suggestion is text MBF, Multicultural Business Forum, MBF, to 0430-370-364. And we'll kick off a conversation. I don't do fake strategy sessions or selling sessions. We'll have a conversation via text or voice. And if it makes sense to get on a proper meeting, great. If not, it would be nice to talk to you anyway. So thank you for your time and stay tuned for part 2.